All the laughter on Raymond is real. No canned laughter.
No canned laughter. In fact, we have to take the laughs down sometimes by the end of the show because people would laugh at stuff that we didn't even know was funny. And we in the multicam area envy the single cam people because, well, everything they do is funny because there's no test. You know, it's just theory, and it doesn't mean it's not funny, these shows, but they're written differently. It's a cinematic thing. They can get into the set and do over-the-shoulder stuff and do camera jokes with the camera. You know, you see The Office, and they're focusing on this one person, and they rack focus to somebody else's reaction, and you know, you can't do that on a multicam. The tendency is to have people not talk like real people. They talk like writers. And I always used to say this about Murphy Brown. I was not a fan of Murphy Brown because, to me, every character, it felt like they had swallowed a writer. Because it was so written. Everything was, you know, parsed out very cleanly, and everybody kind of sounded the same. On Raymond, there were jokes, but they were character jokes. And you need to have the patience to do that and the ability that Phil had to recognize that, to have faith that you can get laughs from an expression rather than a line. And sometimes we'd have a line that somebody would say, you know, this sounds a little written. And so we'd muck it up a little bit. We'd muck it up a little bit. Or Ray would say, I would say this backwards like this, and we'd kind of take the polish off of it. So I think the complaint against multicam shows, which is legitimate, is that they can be too polished and they don't sound like real people because everybody's witty and everybody's got a joke, and you're playing to the audience where you can be a little more subtle and nuanced in single camera. The pilot that I'm pitching now, I want to do a single camera for other reasons because it's a lot of location stuff. But I would like to experiment with using a camera to get something across, where I have a character enter and I want to introduce them by starting on their legs and panning up, which you can't do on multicam. So, you know, there are things that you can do in single cam, but I think the prejudice comes from it being too written. I mean, look at us talking in a room like this. This is an intimate room with a low ceiling, and there's something exciting about that phenomenon, and that's the spirit you get in a multicam comedy, is that feeling of intimacy, and that you're in your room and you're part of that audience is laughing. What happened is we were fighting for new media, like a foothold in the internet, and the companies who have their own union, they call the AMPTP, and it's down to now 6 companies. They're all vertically integrated. In 25 years ago or 30 years ago, there were 50 companies, and before that, there were hundreds of them. But now they're down to 6, and they collude, and they hire tough lawyers. And we have to negotiate with them as a block. And so we're this little 12,000 person union. NBC is owned by General Electric. They make cruise missiles for a living. The entertainment division is like 20% of their business. Disney is huge. News Corp, Rupert Murdoch's empire. So it's all of these huge, nasty corporations. And we're going up against them because they wanted to roll back everything. And the last time we had a strike was in 1988, pre-internet, and it was over DVDs. We got screwed on a deal on DVDs, and the strike just didn't last, and they really, it was a bad thing, ended badly for us. Now, like 20 years later, this issue comes up, and this is something worth striking for. We've lost the DVD battle. Some people are still trying to fight that. That's not worth fighting. If we don't get a foothold in new media, everybody's TV is going to be a computer. And so they're going to get away with not paying us residuals because, hey, it's new media. You don't have a contract for that.
The fight is still ongoing now? It's not concluded yet?
It was done. We won.
You wrecked the ending. Thank you.
We got our toe into it. And just that.